on how it's made. Ice cream treats. They sure take a licking. Before refrigeration, ice cream was a handmade luxury. They placed the ingredients in a mixing bowl in a tub filled with ice and salt water. The salt helped the ice absorb heat, cooling the mixture below the freezing point. In the 1920s, commercial freezers made mass production possible, launching the ice cream industry. To make these ice cream treats, you must first make the ice cream. It all begins with fresh cream. The factory stores the cream in refrigerated silos set to a constant 4 degrees Celsius. The silos feed a high-speed mixer that blends it with the other ingredients. The main dry ingredients are powdered skim milk and plant-based stabilizers and emulsifiers. Stabilizers prevent the ice cream from crystallizing, and emulsifiers allow the mix to bond with air during the whipping process. The other ingredients are sugar and corn syrup. After about 3 minutes of mixing, a pumping system moves the mixture into large pasteurization tanks. The tanks keep the mixture at 72 degrees Celsius for half an hour, killing any bacteria and activating the stabilizers. Then the factory homogenizes the mixture, a process that breaks up the fat globules, giving the ice cream a smooth texture. They cool the mixture and add concentrated vanilla flavoring. Then they chill and whip everything for about 15 seconds. Whipping blends the mix with air, transforming it from a liquid to a soft solid. Without air, it would come out looking like frozen milk rather than ice cream. The ice cream sandwich wafers are made of chocolate cake ingredients. A filling machine feeds 2 lines of wafers towards an injection pipe in the center. Just as 2 wafers come together, the machine injects 80 milliliters of vanilla ice cream in between. The pipe's head shapes the ice cream into a rectangular slab that fits perfectly between the wafers. All this happens at a rate of 140 ice cream sandwiches per minute. As the sandwiches move on to packaging, the filling is still ice cold from the freezing phase, so there's no threat of it melting. The packaging system raises each sandwich into a wrapper, then folds and tucks the ends. The next machine counts the sandwiches and inserts them in boxes. Once sealed, the boxes go directly into a storage freezer at -30 degrees Celsius. On another line, ice cream cone production is underway. A feeder drops pre-wrapped sugar cones into holders on a conveyor belt. They first pass under sprayers that coat the inside with a chocolatey coating, which adds flavor and creates a barrier between the cone and ice cream, so the cone remains crispy until you eat it. Next, nozzles squirt in the ice cream filling, 78 milliliters per cone. 1 production line, 2 flavors. 1 row of cones gets vanilla ice cream, the other row chocolate. Now for a tasty surprise in the cone's core, an injection of liquid caramel. This factory also makes ice cream cones with chocolate and strawberry sauce inside. Next, a chocolate-flavored liquid topping. Then the crunchy finishing touch, a layer of chocolatey-coated puffed rice. Finally, the cones move under a lid dispenser. It applies a wax-coated paper lid to each one. A heating element instantly melts the wax, sealing the lid to the cone's paper sleeve. From here, the ice cream cones go into boxes, then straight into the freezer, ready to take a licking.
Yogurt, the making of a cultural product. Your mother probably told you not to put anything with germs in your mouth. Well, it turns out she was wrong. Yogurt is one of the healthiest foods you can eat, yet it's chock full of germs. Bacteria, to be precise, bacteria that are actually good for your digestive system. The first step in making fruit-flavored yogurt is to inspect the fruit. Workers discard any skin or pits that slip through and any pieces that are discolored or bruised. The fruit doesn't go into the yogurt as is. First, they turn it into jam. To give that jam just the right texture and taste, they have to weigh all the ingredients carefully before pouring them in the mixer. The first ingredient is water, followed by artificial and natural flavoring, and stabilizers to give the jam an even consistency. Certain types of fruit aren't colorful enough on their own, so the factory adds artificial coloring. Next come two types of sugar, fructose and sucrose. The mixer heats everything to 60 degrees Celsius to help dissolve the dry ingredients. The machine pumps out and refeeds the mixture so that it blends evenly. Then more coloring, followed by the fruit, followed by another hour or so of heating and mixing. Then they heat the jam at a minimum of 80 degrees Celsius for another hour to kill off any harmful bacteria. To prepare the yogurt, they mix different powdered milk products with milk and cream. For low-fat yogurts, they use fat-free milk and skip the cream. Once they've blended the ingredients, they heat them to 80 degrees Celsius or higher for just half a minute. That's all the time that's needed to pasteurize the mixture. But while it's now bacteria-free, there's another problem. Milk and cream naturally separate because cream is lighter due to its fat content. So on to the next step, homogenization, blending the milk and cream together. The homogenizer's pistons crush the fat globules. This enables the two liquids to merge. The mixture then goes into fermentation tanks heated to 45 degrees Celsius. Workers pour in a packet of live bacteria bought from a factory that breeds bacterial cultures for the dairy industry. Fermentation takes 6 to 20 hours, depending on the style of yogurt. The factory manufactures the yogurt containers right on the packaging line, using plastic sheets and paper labels. The machine heats the plastic and molds it into containers. A split second later, it wraps the containers in paper labels. You can view that dual operation best from underneath the machinery. Now they fill the containers with the combination of yogurt and fruit jam. To protect the yogurt from contamination, the air in this part of the machine is strictly controlled and filtered. The bacteria in the yogurt is what's known as good bacteria, the type naturally present in our intestines. They produce a compound called acetaldehyde. That's what gives yogurt its distinctive flavor. Those red dots are electronic sensors that verify the fill level. The container covers are made of thin but strong aluminum. First, the sheet of covers passes upside down over a printer, which stamps on the expiry date. Unopened, this yogurt will stay fresh for more than 40 days. Then the sheet of covers turns right side up to be heat sealed onto the containers. Finally, the machine automatically divides the containers according to whatever pack format the factory's producing. Frozen treats will bring you the cold, hard facts. On a sweltering summer day, a frozen treat sure hits the spot. Eating a fruit bar, fudge bar, or ice cream bar, though, requires a certain strategy. You have to hold the treat by the stick, lean slightly forward to dodge the drips, then lick like crazy before it melts off the stick and lands at your feet. The outer shell of these cream pops starts with a transparent base made of water, liquid sugar, corn syrup, citric acid, and a stabilizer. It travels to 3 separate compartment vats, each of which mixes in a different coloring and flavoring. This company produces 3 flavors of cream pops: strawberry, orange, and blue raspberry. Each compartment vat pumps its flavor to a machine called the filling hopper. The hopper injects the liquid into row upon row of 60 milliliter pop-shaped molds. This production line has 340 molds in continuous motion. The molds descend into a tank of brine, water chilled to minus 35 degrees Celsius, mixed with calcium. Calcium works like antifreeze, keeping the water liquid despite the below freezing temperature. As the molds travel through the ice-cold brine, the liquid freezes from the outside inward, creating a shell that will encase the Pop's ice cream filling. Once the shell is 3 millimeters thick, a machine called a suction evacuator removes the unfrozen liquid and feeds it back to the filling hopper to be re-injected at the start of the line. The shells are empty now and ready for filling. The ice cream filling is made of various milk products blended with liquid cane sugar, corn syrup, stabilizers, and emulsifiers to puff up the consistency. The factory pasteurizes the mixture, heating it for 35 seconds at 80 degrees Celsius, then freezing it. Then it homogenizes the filling, skimming off the milk fat that rises to the surface. The shells are still floating in brine as they reach the filling station. The machine shoots in the ice cream, overfilling the shell a bit to create a 1 centimeter cap. The ice cream begins to harden in the cold brine. Once it reaches a semi-frozen state, a machine appropriately called the stick inserter pops a wooden stick into each mold. Now the molds leave the brine and enter a tank of warm water, 24 degrees Celsius, hot enough to detach the cream pops from the molds without melting them in the process. From initial injection to final extraction, it's been 7 minutes. The machine dips the cream pops in cold water to produce a protective coating of ice. This will keep the surface from sticking to the wrapper. It will also lengthen the product's shelf life. The machine deposits the cream pops into a continuous stream of paper wrapping. Heating elements seal the wrapper on top and between pops. Then a slicer cuts them apart. The empty molds go through an automatic wash and rinse cycle on their way back to the start of the line. These molds are for making chocolate fudge bars. The production process is the same, except that the shell is fudge flavored, made from milk solids and chocolate powder. And instead of ice cream in the center, there's chewy chocolate syrup. The factory stamps the packaging for all its frozen treats with the production date and other information. These frozen treats have a 1-year shelf life in the freezer provided you maintain the temperature at an ideal minus 25 degrees Celsius.